Good afternoon. So excited to be able to guide you guys through a practice. Today will be about a 30-minute practice utilizing the wall. So we'll go through a gentle sequence. This will be actually pretty restorative. Those of you who've taken my gentle class, we won't quite do the same thing that we've done in a gentle flow. So go ahead, and these are the things that you will be able to find in your house if you don't have blocks. So bring 2 blocks if you have blocks. Find your yoga mat or a blanket. Get a blanket and a pillow. If you have blocks, bring your blocks. And then when you set up next to your wall, if you don't have carpet on the wall that you're going to use, then you can turn your mat sideways so the short end of the mat is up next to the wall. Okay, so go ahead and let's start on your back. So slowly make your way all the way down. You can plant the feet and melt the spine all the way down. As you start to ground down, before you change anything in the body, just start to notice what's happening in your space today. Maybe see what you notice first. You can keep the knees bent, or you can send the feet long on your mat, grounding down through your heels, more like a shavasana. Maybe you notice first your heartbeat, or the temperature of the air around you, or of the sounds in your house. Just because you're setting aside time for yourself doesn't mean that everybody else is going to stop what they're doing at the same time. Maybe you start to notice some energy moving through your body, where your body is eager for your practice, maybe even a little bit apprehensive. Or maybe you start to notice where the body feels tired or uncomfortable. And what you're noticing, nothing's wrong, good or bad with what you're noticing, it's just what's coming up. As you take a big inhale, just allow your body to note what's happening. And on your exhale, maybe just lean into creating some ease through the body. Allowing the next 30 minutes to be exactly what your body needs it to be. So skipping anything that does not feel good in the body, or if you find a posture that you're really loving and we're moving on, feel free to stay there or pause since you'll be able to watch this virtually. If your legs are long, go ahead and bend into the knees and plant the feet, walking the heels up towards your hips. Feet are about hip width distance, toes facing forward. And allow yourself to start to add in a little bit more space with every breath. A little bit more length with every inhale. Maybe find a little more ease, relaxation, rest, restoration with every exhale. If you like to set an intention for your practice, maybe it's a word, a phrase, or a mantra. Maybe it's someone that's been on your heart lately, and you dedicate your practice to them. Take a big inhale here. And on your next exhale, see if you can relax your shoulder blades down into your mat. Keep the shoulder blades relaxed. Inhale, grow a little taller through the crown of the head, moving the crown of the head towards the back of your mat. And still with the feet planted on the mat, As you take your next big inhale, think of sending your sits bones, the base of your hips, your tailbone towards the top of your mat. So now with your breath, you're just elongating the spine. If you are setting your mat up on a more hard surface than carpet, maybe you place a blanket underneath you. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. On your next inhale, walk your feet out wide on the mat, outside edges of the feet parallel to the outer edges of your mat, and relax your knees together. Getting this nice stretch in through the low back, hips, maybe even into the thighs and the knees. If it feels too intense to have your knees, your feet this wide on your mat, you can walk your feet in a little bit more. If you need a little more intensity in this stretch, walk the feet out a little further. Arms can stay relaxed down by the side, or you could reach the arms up, cactusing the arms, goalpost the arms, relaxing the hands down into the floor, or you can hold on to opposite elbows above your head, just opening up through the heart and the chest. 2 more rounds of breath. Relax your arms down by the sides. Bring the feet together. Slowly open the knees up. Supta Baddha Konasana, your reclined butterfly. If you have 2 blocks or 2 rolled up towels, you can place the blocks on either side of the thighs. So you can stack the blocks as high as you would like to be able to relax the legs down onto your props. I'm saying blocks because I'm using blocks towels if you're using them. And here's the concept here. It's not so much that your body couldn't open up more than you're allowing it to. You're essentially offering more of a support system for the body. So you're elevating the earth. You're bringing your mat up to you so that as you breathe and relax in this space, you'll actually get a greater stretch than if you were to take the props away and then just let gravity pull you down, because you're finding ease a little bit earlier in the stretch, okay, when you use your props. So for here, sometimes it's going to feel really nice if you press the feet together, okay, getting a deeper stretch through the hamstrings and the hips. Sometimes it just feels better to relax down. Heels can move away from the hips if that feels better, or you can walk the heels closer to your hips. The beauty of this practice is there's not really a right or wrong way. You just get to create a little bit of intuition on your mat of what's going to feel nice for you in this space. If you did this practice every single day throughout the week, you would probably find different sensations and results every day, just because of, I was going to say how busy we are, but when this is being recorded, you might still be busy. It's just a different type of busy than going to work every day, right? Maybe you're getting a couple more hours of sleep and the body's not sure what to do with that extra rest and what that feels like in the body. Maybe you have one hand on your heart, one hand on the belly. 2 more big rounds of breath here in your Supta Baddha Konasana. If you're ready to move on, bring your hands to the outer edges of your legs. Bring the knees back up through neutral. Move your blocks to the side. If you want to quick hug the knees into the chest, maybe allowing the thighs to compress the abdomen just a little bit. Then when you're ready, roll to one side, press up to a seat, and go ahead and scooch back to the wall. So you could sit cross-legged here, you could send your legs out long, you could be supported with a blanket or a block. Transitioning from our backs to a seat. Allow your body to check in here. You checked in when you first got to your mat. Maybe where tension was being held in your body, where there was lots of energy, any other sensations that came up. Maybe you feel that here. Hands could rest on your thighs, palms can be open if that's comfortable. Take a big inhale here. On your exhale, allow the shoulder blades to melt into the wall. On your next inhale, grow really tall through the crown of the head. Find some length through the spine. Maybe you activate the low abdomen to offer a little more support. 2 more rounds of breath. Making our way up to standing. Press your back up against the wall, maybe even walk your heels closer to the baseboards or to the base of the wall. Grow up nice and tall. Inhale, circle sweep up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Ground down through the left foot. Pick the right knee up. You might have to walk that left foot out a little bit. Then open it up, tree pose. So toes can stay on the floor, pressing the heel into the inside of the ankle. Foot can come to the calf, or if you're wanting more, maybe you lift up the foot to the left inner thigh. Maybe you reach your arms out and press the backs of the wrists and the fingers into the wall. Maybe you reach the arms up, maybe you look up. Maybe you start to let the body leave the wall. Then maybe you relax it back in. Maybe you leave the wall again on the inhale. Exhale, release it back in. 2 more times, either just stay there relaxing into the wall and breathing, or leaving the wall for a second and then coming back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Release the right leg down. Relax into the wall. Because it wouldn't be a class with me without a little bit of work. We're not going crazy, just a little bit. Walk the feet away, start to inch the heels forward, sitting the hips down. You can absolutely skip this step. When I come into a wall sit, I start to notice tension in my low back because I'm trying to support myself and I end up tilting my pelvis. So see if you can bring your pelvis back to neutral. Maybe you press the base of the hips, the back side of the hips, into the wall as you lift up tall. You're grounding firmly through the feet and you're breathing. If you want the arms out wide or cactus them, it's a great option. Two more rounds of breath. When you're ready, start to walk the heels closer to the wall. Grounding down through the right foot. Take the left knee up, open it up. Tree pose with your right leg grounded. Same options, toes on the ground, foot on the calf, or lift up the left foot to the right inner thigh. Maybe you reach up, maybe you look up. Maybe you extend the arms out wide. Maybe even you flex the hands, pressing away through the heels of the hands. Maybe let your body leave the wall. Big inhale. Exhale, release it in. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more rounds of breath, whether you are relaxing into the wall or leaving the wall for a second. The wobble that you feel in that standing foot is normal, especially if you're on carpet. Let the wobble happen. Big inhale here. Hands to heart center, release the left leg down, walk the feet away. Shorter wall sit, so not quite as long this time, but come to your depth, where you found it earlier, pressing the base of the hips into the wall, sitting up nice and tall, active through the legs. So feet can be hip width distance, or the feet can be together, whatever's more comfortable for you. If you feel like, okay, sure, this is a restorative class, sure, we're working a little bit on the wall, and I want a little bit more, maybe figure 4, picking up the right ankle over the left, 2 rounds of breath. If you took the figure 4, switch it out. One more big round of breath. Plant both the feet, walk the heels back. This time, turn around and face the wall, okay? You're gonna extend your right arm out, then turn your body and have the outside of the right hip pressing into the wall. You can relax your right ear down into the wall. Well, if you can see what I'm doing back there. So I'm gonna do the opposite just so you get to see what's happening here. If you want more, bend into the right elbow. Okay, fingers facing out. You get to decide how much of a stretch you get here, and notice if this right shoulder blade is lifting up to the ears. Relax the shoulder blade down and get a nice stretch through not only the front pec, the right pec, but you're breathing into the right shoulder blade as well. Hips are facing forward. Gaze can be at neutral. See if you get to release some of the tension in the right shoulder with every exhale. One more breath here. Switch out sides. Left arm out, outer edge of the left hip up against the wall. Maybe your left ear, left temple. Then notice where this left shoulder is naturally, maybe roll it down. If you want to bend into the elbow, just makes it more intense of a stretch. Maybe release and find ease with every exhale. One more round of breath. Big inhale. Big exhale. Come back through neutral. Those of you who've been practicing with me for a while have probably done this. Those of you who have not, let this just feel good, okay? Don't add a lot of pressure on how far into the stretch you go, okay? So take a forward fold, and then you're gonna press the back up against the wall, okay? So now a forward fold up against the wall. There's a few things that can happen here. So the hands can come down to the floor just so that you feel supported and grounded. You can walk the feet back. If your legs don't want that much of a stretch, you can bend into the knees. You cannot suffocate on your shirt. So what the purpose of this is, you're not only breathing into the backside of the legs, you're allowing gravity to help elongate the spine, releasing tension and pressure in the low back, even into the mid back and upper back, pressing more of the back into the wall in your forward fold. Breathing into the legs. Maybe you activate the low belly here. When you're ready, press into the hands. You can walk the hands away or you can walk the hands up the wall. Come up to standing, turn around, relax your back into the wall. If you don't practice those types of forward folds, those supported forward folds, you might feel a little dizzy. Just let your body come back to neutral. Big inhale. Nice, slow, long exhale. Locate your props. If you want to use a pillow behind you in lieu of a bolster, if you don't have a bolster. If you want to use a block underneath your hips, we're going into legs up the wall on a wall. Okay? So for your legs up the wall, you want the hips all the way up to the wall. So you might just have to inch up a little bit. If you're using a block, I like the block to almost be touching the wall. It depends on where the tension and pressure is in your low back. This might feel better for you without a pillow, but if you want a little more comfort in your legs up the wall, use a pillow. So once you get here, in more of a power style class, you would be focused on the engagement and the lifting up, away, rooting down to rise up. In this style, you're really letting go as much as the body will allow you to in this posture. So maybe you start to create the sensation that your feet are floating. Your feet are suspended. And then every muscle from the toes working towards the hips start to get to relax. So the ankles relax, the calves and the shins relax, the knees relax, the quads, the inner thighs, the hamstrings, all the way to the glutes. Release. Of breath. If you've reincorporated those muscle groups, just let them relax again. If your body is loving this and you want to hit pause and stay here a while longer, please do so. If the body's ready to continue on, we went to Supta Baddha Konasana earlier on our backs, on our mats, so now we're going to do that here. Soles of the feet together, knees fall out wide. You can either leave the block here or you can remove the block, still allowing the hips to ground down into the wall. So for this, you could either add a little bit more intensity by taking the hands to the inner thighs, inner knees, and just gently guiding the knees towards the wall. Or you can let the legs stay where they are, maybe open up through the heart. If you have a pillow with enough support, you can even open up, cactusing the arms with blocks underneath your forearms. A little bit more of a heart opener. Stay here. Maybe you pause and stay a few more moments. Or if you're ready to move on, relax the hands down, send the feet up high, legs up the wall. If you like the sensation of the heart being elevated, the spine being supported by a pillow, leave it there. Otherwise, remove your pillow or bolster. We're going to do a little bit of a stretch through the hips and outer glutes, okay? So bending into the right knee, right foot plants on the wall, okay? Take the right foot to the outside of the left knee. That can stay there. Then you start to bend into the left knee. Walk the left heel to the outside of the right hip. So you just keep walking it down the wall as far as the body wants it to go. Then check in before you go anywhere from here. If you have any knee issues or injuries, I find that dorsiflexion of the feet, so flexing the feet towards the knees, towards the body, helps to protect the knee. You get a little bit more activation, so you might get a deeper stretch in that left glute, left hip. So you might stay here. See what happens if you send energy through your hips like you're gonna sit on the wall, okay? So press your hips towards the wall. See what happens in the glute. Then if you want a little bit more, you can walk the right heel down to the outside of the left hip, left glute. Working to stack the knees. So if you were on your mat sitting down, this would be cow face or shoestring pose. This feels much more accessible in my body with a wall supporting me. So then just find ease here. Breathe into the glutes. You might even feel it more on the right side than you did the left when we first started. You might keep the feet flexed. You might totally relax the feet. 2 more rounds of breath. When you're ready to release, send both feet back up high, legs up the wall. 2 rounds of breath here. See if you can instantly go back to ease. When you're ready, bending into the left knee, planting the left foot on the wall. Take it to the outside of the right knee, still on the wall. Bend into the right knee, walk the right heel down to the outside edge of your left glute, left hip. Send your hips towards the wall again. Maybe flex the feet. If you want more, walk the left heel down to the outer edge of the right glute, right hip. Energetically thinking of sending the hips towards the wall, pressing the tailbone towards the wall. Feet can be flexed or relaxed here. You could even hold opposite elbows above your head. Release the arms down, send the feet back high, legs up the wall. If you feel invigorated here and you want to add a little bit of weight to your feet, if you have blocks, you can put blocks on your feet. It's much easier when someone else does it for you and places the blocks there. But it just reminds you to ground down the spine, finding release. If you set an intention at the beginning of your practice, come back to that foundation, breathe it in through the body, let it travel in through the mind, in through the breath, going into your circulatory system, your respiratory system. If you would like to conclude your practice with your legs up the wall, stay there. Or if you're ready to go back to your mat, bring a blanket with you to lie on, or you can even roll up the blanket and place it underneath your knees. Or if you want a little bit more, you can, here, hold it this way so you can see if you need to check in. Blocks, pillow on top. Shins on top of the blocks. If you can figure out how to not let them fall over. Shins on top of the blocks. Relax the body down like it could be under the neck if that feels good. free to stay here in this stillness for as long as the body wants. If you're heading to bed, maybe you stay here a little bit longer. Thank you so much for setting aside time, honoring your space, honoring your practice, honoring your body, your breath, your movement. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please contact us. We would love to be able to help you and serve you, especially during this time that we're away from our community. Love to be able to connect with you. The light in the teacher in me acknowledges, honors, and respects the light in the teacher in each and every one of you. Namaste.